My brothers and sisters, how many of you have missed a train? Make a bit of noise. That's almost everyone here, mashallah. You've missed a train, even by a fraction, by a moment. So I want to give you a few examples. Imagine yourself having booked a beautiful cruise, a holiday somewhere in the world, and it's a huge ship going from port to port, perhaps city to city, island to island for 2 weeks. What they do is they will dock, they will stop, they will let you come off, they will let you disembark and spend the day at that particular place. And they will give you a time to tell you, 4:30, you've got to be back. And you should have boarded this ship because 5 o'clock we're going to leave. Imagine a huge ship docking on an island and you're in the ship enjoying yourself, 5-star cruise. And suddenly, when they dock, they've stopped, you spent the day on an island, and as you are rushing back, you notice it's already 5 o'clock. And what happened? The ship started moving and you're standing there waiting, looking, in shock, in awe, looking at the ship moving, looking back at the island and thinking, now what? Can you picture that? Now what? You are going to have to make a plan B and C because you were late. It was your fault. If they told you 4:30 you've got to be here, you should have been there at 4:20, at 4:15, at 4 o'clock. You'd rather wait. The same applies. All of you who said you've missed a train, you should have been there early waiting for the train. The train does not wait for you. You have to wait for the train. Even if the train is late, you were meant to be there on time so that perhaps if the train pitched up, you wouldn't miss it. But if you were late by a fraction of a second and those doors closed, the fault is yours. You are going to have to make a plan B and C. You are going to miss perhaps a lot of meetings, perhaps your lectures at school or university or whatever else it may have been. Your work, you might miss hours. The same applies if you were to look at an aircraft. If you are to come to the boarding gate too late, the boarding gates will close. You can see the aircraft. It has not yet taken off. Sometimes the doors are still open, but because they've closed the flight, you've missed it. What's going to happen? Plan B or C or D, you will have to pay, you will have to change, you will have to get accommodation. It's going to cost you a lot. Sometimes you should know, as much as you might blame yourself if you were the lazy one, if you were the one who was at fault without anyone else to be blamed, then as much as you are hard on yourself, it's a lesson for the next time. Don't become depressed because you missed the boat or you missed the flight or you missed the train. It's okay. Let me understand. I need to do better next time. And I also need to make sure that I'm going to make a plan B for now. But if it was not your fault, someone else's fault, smile and thank Allah. Thank Allah even more. Not to say you should not thank Allah when it was your mistake, but you have an element or a certain portion of the blame that you know, I was at fault, I left too late, I did not take into consideration the traffic and so on. So if you look at this, you will understand the level of blame upon you is to a certain point, but you have to be happy with the decree of Allah.